Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here, the Wanderlust CEO. Today we're talking about change that mindset, change your business. So, if you want to learn how to make the shift out of a mindset that is not productive for you, it is not serving you in your business. If you want to learn how to think a little bit bigger with your travel business or with your life in general, or if you just want to have coffee, talk travel, keep on watching. That's what we're doing on the channel today. All right, guys, don't forget to take a moment to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Do you like the Christmas intro? I know it's early, but listen, my birthday's in early November, and we love to kick off the holidays early. So we're getting right into all of the fun things that are the holidays, which reminds me, before we get into the content, we are running a huge contest, and today is the day that we are announcing it. If you go to wanderlustceo.com/Santa, we are doing a version, think Oprah's favorite things, but Cyndi's favorite things. So we're going to be sharing literally all month long. I'm going to be sharing over on my Instagram account. I'm going to be sharing what our prizes are, and I have 12 amazing prizes picked out. Of course, we picked 12 for like the 12 days of Christmas. So check out Instagram under the giveaway section. I'm going to be revealing the prizes over there. So that's going to be a ton of fun. And you can register to win now. You just have to register once, and you're registered for all 12 prizes as we release them. And all you have to do is register and then like us over on YouTube. That's it. And then you were registered for the contest. We did a version of this last year called Season of Giving, but this year I really thought about like what are my favorite things. So I think you guys are really going to like it. So check that out for sure. But today we're talking about mindset, guys. How do we help you with your mindset? You know, if you've been following me for a while, I'm a big believer in when you change your mindset, you can change your life and especially your business. Mindset is something that we incorporate into all of our client programs and something we do a lot of free content on because I really do feel like it changes people's lives. So today I want to talk about specifically where you can start to shift that mindset and what things you can do, kind of those tactics that you can follow to help you have some tools in your toolbox to deal when you have a difficult mindset, right? By the way, if you're brand new to the channel, I want to remind you that if you're thinking about becoming a travel agent or you're thinking about getting into the travel industry, hang on, I see we have a little light issue back there. Things that happen in live shows, it's all good. But if you're thinking about getting into the industry, don't forget to go check out my free masterclass. This is the 5 shifts to a 6-figure travel business and beyond. A lot of my most successful clients has started right here with this totally free class. It's really just to help you evaluate, is the travel industry for you? What are the different ways to get into the industry and all of those pieces? So definitely go check that out. It's totally free. And if you don't know me, if you're new to the channel, my name is Cyndi Williams. I've been in the industry for 27 years, and I have my own travel agency where we test all of the things that we train in this format. But I'm most known for being the CEO of Careers on Vacation, which helps people just like you launch, grow, and supersize your travel businesses. So let's dive right into this content, you guys. Let's talk about mindset. Let's talk about what you can do to really kind of shift and get started with making that big change, right? So I want to tell you guys, I want to start by telling you guys a story. 2020 was a rough year for the travel industry. We all know this, like literally overnight, businesses went out of business, or you lost you did a year's worth of work and all of your bookings just fell off the calendar. It was devastating. It felt, like you were defeated. It was a difficult time. So in that hardest of mindset times, right? I mean, our company was working overtime just to get people like, hey, let me help you make it through the day. Let me help give you some energy. We really had to flex our mindset muscles. And because we're kind of known as the company that does that in the industry, I felt like overnight people were like, Cyndi, what should we do? Cyndi, oh my gosh, help me get through the day. Or this is how I'm feeling. And I love that so many people reached out so we could help them through that difficult time. And we were working overtime to just get the love out there. But the story I want to share with you is how some people dealt differently with that time, and no judgment on how you dealt with it, because it was like none of us were prepared for this. Like, so everybody dealt with it in a different way. But there were some really shining mindset stories that came out of that time that I think we can learn from. So if something else happens, or if something else pops up down the road, or if something crazy happens, maybe we can learn from what others did to help their mindset during that time period and also breed success out of that time period. So I want to just set the stage, right? Like just picture spring of 2020, so last year, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, you're just, it's kind of like you're watching things crumble. Oh my gosh. We had a program that we had been designing for like a year. It's called Wanderlust CEO, and it's really for that more like advanced travel professional that wants to think about growing a team. And we had already sold a few seats into that program and before all this craziness happened. And then we had a decision to make. We're like, oh my gosh, we have this it's a year-long program. Like people committed to this. It's a big deal. And I had to really reflect on, is it the right time to run this program? Do we move forward with the program? And in all of my, going on 3 decades of experience now and talking to my colleagues in the industry, looking at the numbers, looking at the trends, one thing we know about travel, one thing we know about the statistics from going through things like 9/11 and going through other, issues where there's world events. Of course, this is the biggest event we've ever dealt with. But one thing that was just a constant for me was people always come back to traveling. So I decided to adopt the approach that I know that's going to happen. So what can I do? How can I be productive in this downtime? Right. And I decided to move forward with that program. And I had a talk with all of the people in that program. And we even sold more seats into that program. But we were really clear on, I don't know what's going to happen, but here's what I can tell you will happen if you do this program. You're going to be surrounded with people that work every day to be at the top of their game mindset wise. You're going to be in an environment where I'm going to share everything that I know so you can best prepare for the future. And we can spend this time feeling bad, or we can spend this time doing nothing, or we can get together in this mastermind and we can spend the time doing some work. So why don't we, and the goal of that particular program is to scale teams, right? So learning how to train travel agents, get travel agents prepared, do all the things. So I said, this is actually the perfect time to train. You might think I'm crazy, but just what if all of you guys that are in this program are ready when travel starts to return? And what if we adopt, okay, we know domestic travel is going to happen first, so let's have a strategy for that. Then we know there's going to be international cruises is going to fold in at some point. Like we knew the scale of what stuff was going to open up as the world got, vaccines and things like that. So we took it one step at a time. But all that to say, I don't want to talk about the program. What I want to talk about is the fact that these people doubled down on, one, they believed in me, and I thank them for that so much. That made me just work so much harder to try to make all of them successful. But guess what happened, right? Because they surrounded themselves with an environment that had that positive mindset, because they use that time to go, I'm going to try to be productive. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to put it out on the table. I'm just going to work. I'm just going to work towards this goal. And while everybody else was in that place of feeling, right, that mindset that attacked so many of you. And even I had days we were on the couch watching Netflix going, oh, right. I get it. But they decided to work extra hard at their mindset, and so they could be productive, so they could be in a space where they were doing the work, so they could be in a space where they were doing the preparation for what we were all hoping would come. So what happened, right? What happened, Cyndi? Well, who do you think was ready the minute travel, like Disney's opening up? Then this is opening up. Who was prepared with a team of agents to take those calls, right? So beautiful ending to that story. So many of those like zoomed into our $1 million club like so fast. Like I'm talking a matter of months, they were hitting that 7-figure mark and beyond. And it was just so beautiful to see that big reward at the end, because they took that big risk of like, I'm going to spend money when travel is shut down. I'm going to spend time. I'm going to spend energy. But it worked out great, right? And some people realized they didn't want a team, and then they worked on bigger concept projects. They didn't, they just had a change and shift, but because they were surrounded with people that said, that's a good idea, and here, let me show you this, and let me show you that. And we have people building out other concept next level projects in that mastermind too. So anyway, all that to say, mindset was absolutely key in order for them to make that transformation. So you might be asking, like, Cyndi, okay, that's great, but how do I do that? Like, how did they have the courage to do that? How did they get off of the couch and stop watching Netflix in the middle of all the crazy? And that's where I want to share some really good tools with you guys. And this is stuff we were sharing all through last year if you've been following me, because I just honestly, when I had a conversation with my YouTube strategist, I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're just going to show up and we're going to love on people every day. And we're going to try to encourage them, and we're going to try to give them, what we can. And these are those tools. If you're in a place of despair and maybe you're going through something that's not even COVID related, maybe you're going through a change in life, maybe you're going through a divorce, maybe you lost a loved one. I don't know there's a million things that can put you in that place where your mindset just freaking sucks. And it doesn't feel good, right? Like, you have anxiety, you have depression, you have stress, and you can't be productive when you're in that space. So let me give you some tools and best recommendations on how you can really get out of that space. So I have kind of a couple written down here on how to make that shift. And the first thing I want you to think about is your mind is filled with thoughts all day long, thousands and thousands of thoughts. It is proven now through science that thoughts have an energetic field, right? And if you think thoughts that are bad or defeating or whatever, literally the like attracts like. So that sometimes is what you're attracting. What you think about, you bring about. You might have heard that. Michael Beckwith says it. I've heard other people say it. What you think about, you bring about. And so when you're in that space, it feels like, oh, nothing goes right. You know how, like, when you're late to work already and you're like, oh, I'm hitting every red light. It's kind of like it's almost like you're bringing it on yourself. But how do you switch that? The first step is understanding that you have a negative narrative going on in your brain. And all of us have them, right? Like, even me, a student of mindset for decades, will have stuff pop up from my childhood. We'll have stuff pop up from wherever. And I'm like, whoa, that thought is not serving me. Delete and replace. Delete and replace. I want you to think about your mind like a record player, and it's playing thoughts all day long. So the first thing to do is just be aware. Just pay attention to what the record player is saying, right? Like, I can never do that because, or, oh, I'm not smart enough to do that, or, oh, I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not young enough, I'm not old. What is the thing? What's the negative thoughts that are going through? The first step is just realizing that they're there and acknowledging, like, ooh, that's not serving me. The second thing you can do is literally visualize when you have that thoughts that creep in, visualize taking the record. I'd like to visualize taking the record, breaking it, and then putting the new record on that goes. It is never too late. You are never too old. You are never too young. Of course you're smart enough. You've done all these other things. You can figure this out. You are deserving of this. You are worthy of this. You can do this, right? So those are affirmations. There's a ton of different affirmations that you can create to kind of replace. But think about that. First step is to become aware. Second step is to start removing that narrative and replacing it with a better narrative. Literally, if you do this work, it won't just like give you a better business. It can give you a better life. We put mindset work all through our programs, and we have people that get to the end of the program and they're like, yes, I got the travel business. I got all the stuff you promised me, Cyndi, but what I didn't expect was it helped my marriage, or what I didn't expect was it helped me do this other thing that I've been dreaming about. Or what I didn't expect was I'm doing this now because I believe I can. And like, that's the power of like mindset, right? So record player, smash the old record, replace it with a new one. The next thing that you want to do, once you start to kind of shift that narrative, you'll start to feel a little bit better almost immediately when you start replacing and putting those good thoughts in. And this is continual. This is not a do it once thing and then it's fixed. You have to do this rest of your life. Like, you have to pay attention the rest of your life. And also, like, when COVID happened, right? Even people that have great mindsets and normally are on top of their game, all of a sudden they're like, whoa. And all the stuff from when you were a kid and all the stuff from scary stuff and all the fear comes back in. And you're like, and you didn't have enough positive words in the world to fend off last year, right? It is continual work. It will be continual work. But if you do it, it's so worth it. And it keeps you in a state of abundance. All right, next one is getting clear on what you want. Once you're thinking more clearly and you're like, okay, I believe there's something more for me in the world. I believe there's a dream in my heart. I believe there's something I want to do. Once you get to that place, Then you have to get clear and start asking yourself, what do I want? How do I want my life to be different? And I think this is another thing that COVID woke people up to, right? Like you went through, maybe you got to spend time at home and you never have done that before. Maybe you got to connect with your kids on another level. Maybe you figured out that I do want to work from home or while I travel the world or whatever the case is, right? Like I've been teaching people how to do the travel thing for forever and get that empowerment. But last year, people are like, maybe I don't want to go back to the office, right? How many corporations are shifting their model so people can work from home now because they're losing their workforce because people are like, I don't want to come back. And it's almost like, people kind of banding together and going, nah, I don't think that's for me anymore. So it's a big awakening really happened last year. And that's powerful because now people are putting themselves first. They're putting their lives first. They're figuring out what they want to put back in. Instead of just, there is no going back to normal. This is a new normal, but the new normal can be better than it was before. And that's the power. So get clear. What do you want from your life? What do you want to do? What's the dream? Maybe it's to have a travel business. Maybe it's to be a chef or a ballerina or a florist or whatever the thing is. Get clear on what the thing is that you want for your life and how you want to live your day to day. What do you want your family environment to be? So get clear on that. The next thing to change in your mindset, and this is one that is like an escalator in terms of like 10xing your power in this situation. You need to, people talk about law of attraction, but what's more important than law of attraction is the law of vibration, which the law of attraction is, you think about stuff and you can get it, right? That's the ideal. But it's not exactly true because if you're not in the right vibration, in the right energy, then the universe can't give you the things that you've just said that you wanted, right? So what I mean by that is this is paying attention to keeping yourself in an optimum state. And that is where you can attract abundance. What do I mean by optimum state? How you feel. Right? How you feel when you wake up in the morning, or if you feel yourself getting negative or something happened that you didn't expect and it, something happened with the kids and now you're all, oh, it's not what my plan was today. And I was going to go to Starbucks and get a pumpkin spice latte or a peppermint mocha if it's Christmas time, right? So it's one of those things where you have to go when that stuff creeps up, how do you snap yourself back into, I'm good. I'm attracting the things I want. Everything's on the way. It's happening now, the whole thing. So how you do that is you can do it through tools. The first one is pay attention to who is in your circle. If you have negative people in your circle or people that are constantly telling you can't do things or why would you do that or blah, 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 you have to kind of limit. It doesn't mean sometimes it's friends and family, right? It doesn't mean you stop loving those people. It just means you can take a beat and maybe not hang out with them so much or keep them at an arm's length and replace and put your circle with people who really fan your flames, right? Instead of people that like are constantly extinguishing your dreams, you might have to get a new circle. If your circle's not cheering for you and telling you, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do the next thing. You have to get a new circle. So think about that. Look at the 5 people that are on your favorites on your phone. And if you called them and said, I'm going to start a travel business today, what would they say to you? And if it's anything but, man, that's awesome. Keep me posted. I really want to hear about it. If it's anything other than that, you might want to add some more people to your circle that are going to fan those flames. And this is a powerful thing. Like I grew up in the Midwest and, it was like, word is your bond. And like you work hard for a company for 30 years and then you retire. And, it was just the same, like, generation after generation, the same kind of process. So doing something new or out of the box was too scary for my parents, right? When I said, I'm going to go to Houston and do this, or I'm going to sell my other business and scale out my travel business. Every time I did something big, my own mom, and we've talked about this and love my mom very much. And she's 100% supports me. Now she says, everything that Cyndi touches turns to gold, right? That's her new thing that she says. But every step of the way, she fought me a little bit. Like when I wanted to move to Houston and because my company was transferring me, she was like, well, you'll probably go for a year and then you'll probably come back, right? Well, I went and then I got promotion after promotion, was working my way through corporate time. And then when I got the big corporate position, I was making all this money and I had all the things and I had the Z4 convertible and the new house and all of the things happening in the corporate world. I just said, I'm going to leave and start my own business. She's like, are you crazy? Why would you do that? And she tried to talk me out of it. And then my husband and I started our own business. It was non-travel related. And I still had my travel business on the side, which I was doing like as a hobby all through my career, right? But we started the business and it was tough at first, and everybody was like, "Oh, I don't know if you should have done that. I don't know if you should have done that." But then we grew it to be the largest business of that kind of business in the state of Texas, and then we were like the seventh biggest in the country. So then they were asking, "Wow, well, how did you do that?" Then I said, "I'm going to get rid of that business and I'm going to do something new again. I have this dream to train travel agents and start careers on vacation and scale out our travel agency more." And they're like, "Why would you do that? Most businesses fail." I'm like, "Well, my last business didn't fail," right? So it's one of those things where, and I love my mom, but when it comes to what I'm going to do, I have to have that space where I'm like, I don't have to accept someone else's opinion. I know that comes from a place of she always wants me to be safe and secure, and that's okay. But on the flip side, my husband, and every crazy idea I bring him, he's like, "Okay, well, I support you. Let me know how I can help." He's like, "I don't know how that's going to work out." And he'll give me advice, but he never, ever, he always is like, "You should do that." Or like, figure if you're that passionate about it, maybe you should do it. Right. So it's one of those things where, you have to build yourself your own circle sometimes. And that's okay. Look at your Facebook feed. Are the people on your Facebook feed constantly putting negative stuff out? It's okay. There's a little button on Facebook. You can change them from friend or family to acquaintance. They won't know. And then you don't see their stuff as often. So like on my Facebook and Instagram feeds, I only follow people who are uber positive. And hey, if you need someone in your corner, follow me on Instagram and follow us on Facebook. We're constantly putting out positive stuff. I will be in your virtual circle for sure, cheering you on in all ways for sure. But that's another tool to keep yourself in that high vibration, is who you're surrounding yourself with. The other thing is, what media are you consuming? Through social media feeds, also watching the news. You guys know during COVID, I talked a lot about just turn the news off. The news has not changed since yesterday. Like, yes, if you're a travel agent, get your updates through the CDC, do that thing from a client perspective if you have people that are traveling at some point. But besides that, don't get stuck in the narrative, right? You get to create your own experience. Yes, that's happening. I'm aware, but I'm not going to drown myself in all of the pain and suffering that's happening, because you might not realize it. That sticks to you. So you want to be careful of that. The last thing is, do things that bring you joy. Take a walk, get outside, walk barefoot in the grass. Have a ritual where in the morning you just take a beat for yourself, play music that can change your vibration. Think about just little things that bring you joy to snap you out, right? When I realize I'm snapping at my kids too much, because it happens. I'm a mom. I got 3 kids, 2 companies, right? All the things happening. Sometimes I get short with them and I'm like, oh, that's not fair to them. And I'll say, "Guys, can I just have a do-over?" We'll have a do-over, and then I'll say, "Okay, who wants to pick a song?" And then we'll just pick a song for the radio, and then we go forward in a different vibration. And it's okay to take that pause and reshift. You have to do that for yourself sometimes. That helps your mindset. And the last one is making sure that you're taking action towards your goals. Whatever that dream in your heart was, it's going to just stay a dream unless you make it a goal, right? So you have to say, what's one little thing I can do? Is there a book I can read? Is there a person I can follow? Is there a program I can take? Is there a whatever that will help me get to that space? Whether, again, you want to be a chef, a ballerina, a florist, or travel business, whatever the thing is, right? Take action on your goals. You've let the universe know, this is what I want to do. I'm adjusting my mindset to believe that this is possible. I'm keeping myself in a high vibration. Then you will start to attract the things that will help you. Doors will open where they weren't before. You'll find a video, maybe this one, that's like, why of all the billions of videos did I find this one? And this crazy lady, Cyndi Williams, and telling me and reminding me of my own power, reminding me that I can do the things if I just kind of take that first step. So guys, I hope this was helpful. And I want to say too, if your dream is to have a travel business or become a travel agent or scale your business up to the next level, definitely check out our Careers on Vacation program. This is the program that's 12-week mastermind. It is our most popular program for both new and experienced travel agents. We have 2 learning tracks in that program that will really help you get started in the industry or take your business to the next level. It teaches you how to be a travel agent and how to run your business online. And you get access to my amazing team, the same team that has helped me grow my companies to where they are today. They will will help you get your company where you want it to be as well. And of course, we have 130, 140 plus YouTube case studies now. So go check those out. Those are our actual clients showing results after they went through our program on how they started or grew their travel businesses. There's a lot of just amazing stories over there. We're so proud of those. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you today. I want to remind you again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. When you give the video a like or a comment, it tells us that you like the content we deliver today, and that's how we decide what more content we're going to build for you out in the future for free. And we love that you guys are following us on the channel. Thank you for making us, again, if you saw the video a couple weeks ago, thank you for making us the #1 YouTube channel for travel agent education. That just blows my mind. And I'm so honored to be in this position where I can be helping you either virtually or out in the world, and with, reaching you through this medium of video and through YouTube to help you in any way that I can. So again, don't forget to register for that big contest we're giving. We had a fun time doing that last year, and we're going to do the drawing live over on Facebook too. So guys, thanks for following today. I wish you so much love, so much abundance. I wish you the world. I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.
It's calling me, like the rainbow, It's calling me, like the rainbow.
Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here. If you like that last video, make sure you check out all of the other content on our channel. And if you want to follow along and travel with me around the world and see how I run my amazing travel brands and get some great tips on how to grow your own, make sure you check out that other content. I'm going to drop a couple videos here. Click those links. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.
It's calling me.